Verstappen has responded to Hamilton's off-track attack about which of the two drivers had better teammates, branding him jealous of his current success. This comes after Hamilton's statements that all of his teammates are better than all of Verstappen's, and that the Dutch champion still has not had a proper title challenge like Hamilton did with Rosberg. It seems like the love between Red Bull and Mercedes has been reignited yet again for the first time since the Abu Dhabi finale 2 seasons ago, and they didn't save words for this one. Verstappen is currently enjoying a dominant streak with Red Bull, having secured wins in 12 out of the 14 races this season. And while he celebrates his success, there are talks concerning the future of his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez, especially following a series of disappointing results in 2023. Hamilton, however, sat down for an interview before the Monza race and shared his perspective on the current state of Red Bull, highlighting their dominant performance, the efficiency of their car, strategy, operational procedures, and Verstappen's outstanding consistency both on and off the track. With Max's 10 wins in a row, with the very likely prospect of extending it to 18 by the end of the season, there's an ever-increasing debate about his stature in comparison to racing legends like Hamilton and Schumacher. However, Hamilton didn't miss an opportunity to also downplay Verstappen's triumphs, as he implied that while he set many of his records, he did so against stronger teammates than Verstappen has faced so far in his career. This might be seen as Hamilton's way of shifting the rivalry off the track, especially if he feels he can't compete with Verstappen on it due to car differences. "I think the team as a whole, it's one of the strongest ever," Hamilton said to Sky Sports. "They're firing on all cylinders right now. The car is incredible. The driver is doing an amazing job, very consistent. The pit crew are doing a great job. The mechanics are doing a good job. The strategy is doing a good job, like on point. You can't fault them. In my personal opinion, Valtteri, Bottas, and actually all of my teammates have been stronger than the teammates that Max has had. Jenson Button, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Rosberg. Actually, these guys have all been very, very strong, very consistent. Max is not racing against anyone like that." Is he right though? Well, Hamilton's remarks about Red Bull's performance aren't entirely off the mark, as Red Bull is on top form across the board, from the car's performance to the driver's consistency, from the pit crew's efficiency to the mechanics and strategy team, and it really is hard to find fault in their current operations. But when you compare Hamilton's teammates over the years compared to those of Verstappen, this does add an interesting dimension to the conversation. Basically, Hamilton claims that his teammates, names like Jenson Button, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas and Nico Rosberg, have been generally better, faster and more consistent than any teammate Max has raced alongside. Even though Mercedes dominated the 2019 and 2020 F1 seasons, Hamilton consistently faced a credible challenge from his teammate Bottas. The 7-time world champion also had a fiery rivalry with his former teammate Nico Rosberg in the 2016 season. The two drivers battled intensely for the Drivers' Championship, with the competition going down to the wire. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff also expressed his confusion about Perez's inability to compete with Verstappen despite being in the same car. "We have seen it all these years. Checo is a Grand Prix winner, a multiple Grand Prix winner, so I cannot comprehend," Wolff told the media. "We've seen that Max has destroyed every single teammate that was with him, whether it's his ability to create a car around himself that is just very tricky to control, but fast when you can control it, and that creates those gaps." So Verstappen is always denying whatever Mercedes throws at him, and it does really seem like these types of comments really do not reach him, and even if they do, he doesn't show that on track, which is a sign of a mentally strong driver in itself. And while it's undeniable that Hamilton has had some of the most formidable teammates in F1 history, to suggest that all of them have been superior to all of Verstappen's teammates might be a stretch. This comparison, as intriguing as it is, might not be entirely accurate when evaluated in depth. But were all of Hamilton's teammates during their stints superior to those who partnered with Verstappen? This is a debatable topic, but let's take Ricciardo for instance. Between 2016 and 2018, while Verstappen may have edged him out towards the end of their partnership, Ricciardo undoubtedly showcased formidable skill for Red Bull. Evaluating other teammates such as Gasly, Sainz, Albon, Perez, and again Ricciardo reveals varying levels of skill and growth. For instance, Sainz is a competent driver, though not exceptional, and Gasly and Albon have matured over time. Their current form arguably extends their early days with Verstappen. Some of this growth could be attributed to the Red Bull environment, car design considerations, and team pressures, and Perez remains a reliable driver, though not spectacular. Look, I don't think anyone would deny that on balance, Hamilton's teammates have been stronger than Verstappen's. However, fully endorsing Hamilton's claim might be an overreach. And while it's evident from Hamilton's comments that he's responding to Verstappen's success and the surrounding discourse about Verstappen's historical standing, Hamilton might feel that had Verstappen been paired with the likes of his teammates, his success streak would have been challenged. Still, Hamilton's underlying message is that his achievements, set against consistently stronger internal competition, carry greater weight. Nevertheless, regardless of team dynamics, achieving 9, 10 and more consecutive race victories is an undeniably significant feat if Verstappen accomplishes it. Max did go on to respond to Hamilton's comments, saying how he thinks the 7-time world champion is actually jealous of his success and that they simply don't matter to him. Maybe Lewis is a bit jealous of my current success, Verstappen was quoted by De Telegraph. He might think he can win something with those kinds of statements, but it doesn't matter to me. I think Mercedes has a hard time dealing with losing after winning so much for so many years, stated the World Championship leader. But at some point, you have to be realistic when you know it's not there. Then you have to appreciate what other teams are doing. We've always done that in the years when they were dominant. The Dutch driver also emphasised the importance of focusing on one's own performance rather than getting caught up in external comments. You can keep shouting that what they're doing isn't that special or have that tone, he said. Maybe they don't always say it, but they think it. Well, you should just focus on yourself. That's the only thing you have control over. I don't need these kinds of things. Even Russell recently remarked that practically any driver could achieve victory in the Red Bull. However, the counterpoint is the manner and consistency with which these wins are being secured. While the car might be exceptional, it's the consistency and excellence of Verstappen's performances that set him apart. And while achieving a win is one thing, but consistently dominating races speaks volumes about a driver's skill and capability, which is undeniably commendable in Verstappen's case. If we're being honest, in 2021, Hamilton recognised the exceptional challenge Verstappen posed and admitted that the season was exceptionally tough, which was a testament to Verstappen's ability. Both drivers have showcased exemplary skill, earning them the title of titans in the sport. However, I can't help but also feel that Verstappen, while undeniably talented, has indeed been fortunate in terms of teammates. Critics argue that had he been paired with formidable drivers like Fernando Alonso or Nico Rosberg, confrontations could have been inevitable, pointing to Max's temperament and the perceived preferential treatment he received, especially with the departure of his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo. I believe that Hamilton has consistently faced tougher internal competition, with teammates ranging from Jenson Button to George Russell, who is undeniably one of the most, if not the most, talented young driver on the grid right now. These drivers kept Hamilton on his toes, while Verstappen seems to have had a relatively smoother sail, and although the car plays a pivotal role, it's the symbolic relationship between the car, driver and team that dictates success, and not one singular thing. Overall, while both racers are exceptionally skilled, Hamilton's challenges, in terms of teammates, seem to have been more rigorous compared to Verstappen's journey so far. That doesn't mean that Verstappen will not get teammates that are simply better than Perez or Ricciardo. Remember, Max and Hamilton won their first titles at approximately the same age, but Max will win his third at the age of 26, and Hamilton did so at the age of 30. There's a big 4-year gap here, and there's still plenty of time for Verstappen's titles to be contested, not only only by his own teammate, but by other drivers as well.